When people think of entrepreneurs, they picture usually two extremes. The ultra successful business owner who has the cars, the house, the global lifestyle where they're jet setting and handling business, or the relentless grinder who works from sunrise to sunset, barely coming up for air. There's some truth to both. Entrepreneurship does come with certain freedoms. I recognize that I have control over my time in a way that most people working for a company don't. That freedom has trade-offs, ones that rarely get discussed. Entrepreneurship is fucking hard, and I'm not saying that to discourage you. If you're in the middle of it or just getting started, you need to know that you're not alone. You need to know that struggling doesn't mean you're failing. It means that you're in the arena, taking hits, and hopefully still standing. So before we dive into those harsh realities, let me tell you why it's worth it. In 2024, I was sitting at Soho House in Mexico City with my wife and business partner April and our friend Leisha, someone who we met while we were in Mexico City. It was a Thursday, sometime around 2 p.m. I think, and we had been doing some work there just because we wanted to get a different setting than our Airbnb. And we were getting hungry, so we ordered some food and also decided to order a drink. After taking a sip of the drink, I remember closing my laptop and I said something along the lines of, we got what we needed to done, and it's also been a productive week. At that point, I remember April and I began talking about, some work challenges, and then Leisha cut in. She goes, "It's 2 p.m. on a Thursday. We're at this beautiful place, and you decided to just close your laptop and have a drink. Say life isn't that bad." That moment really stuck with me because she was right. I'd been so caught up in the stress of work that I forgot that we had built a life where we get to choose how we spend our time. And look, I may not be where I want to be financially yet, but having that choice, that's the kind of wealth that money alone can't provide. That freedom only exists because of entrepreneurship and the risks we took, the sacrifices we made, and the lessons we learned along the way. It's easy to look at someone else's success and assume it was a straight path forward. What you don't see are the failures, the pivots, and all of the mental battles that happen behind the scene. Despite all of the hard lessons and difficult stretches, I wouldn't trade this journey for anything. If you're in this, I want you to know that struggle is part of the process. It's the price of entry. So now let's talk about those harsh truths. 1, you will feel isolated. Entrepreneurship is lonely, not just in the beginning, but at every stage of growth. You will lose people along the way, friends who don't understand your obsession, acquaintances who drift when your priorities shift, even family members who don't see why you wouldn't just choose a path that's safer, easier. Some will support you, others won't. That's just a reality. This kind of isolation isn't just social, it's also mental. You'll experience thoughts that most people don't. The weight of a different type of responsibility, the constant internal questioning. There's going to be quiet moments when you wonder if what you just did was a big mistake that'll ruin everything and bring you back to zero. Even when you start winning, it doesn't fully go away. Success creates a different kind of distance. You'll connect with fewer people because the percentage of those who understand what you're doing shrinks the further you go. And the only way through is keep going. Keep refining your circle until the people around you are the ones that get it. 2, it's an emotional roller coaster. One day, everything is clicking. The next feels like it's crumbling. There's no rhythm. There's no predictability. There's no certainty. You'll close a big deal only to wake up the next morning wondering if you'll ever land another one. You'll have weeks of momentum followed by stretches of silence. You'll feel the rush of success, then the gut punch of loss. This is why most people quit. They aren't ready for the mental endurance that entrepreneurship demands. Because here's the truth. Most of the time, it's not about skill. Sure, you need to develop yourself, but it's also about being able to stay in the fight. People have this idea that entrepreneurs must be highly intelligent or incredibly smart. Straight up, they're the ones who refuse to let the setbacks define them. They take the hits, they process the doubt, and then they get back up and they keep moving anyway. 3, you will fall hard, but you only fail if you stay down. Falling is a guarantee, but failure, that's up to you. You'll make bad calls. You'll trust the wrong people. You'll invest in things that don't work. You'll spend months, maybe years, building something only to watch it collapse. And it will feel like the end, but it won't be. The question is never if you'll get knocked down. It's whether or not you'll get back up. And I know that sounds cliche, but most people don't. The discomfort is usually too much. The hit to their ego is too sharp. They take one bad loss and they let it define them. They walk away telling themselves it wasn't meant to be. The ones who make it, they take those moments. They extract the lessons and then they use them to make their next move forward. 4, you will be forced to confront your weaknesses. Entrepreneurship isn't just about building a business. It's about becoming the person capable of running it, growing it. Your flaws don't stay hidden in this game. If you struggle with discipline, your business is going to expose it. If you avoid difficult conversations, leadership will force them upon you. If you lack self-awareness, the consequences slap you in the face. This isn't meant to break you. It's meant to develop you. Every new level of growth will require a different version of you. The process will demand that you evolve, that you sharpen your skills, and that you let go of the identity that no longer serves you. And this is why so many fail. They have this idea, they want the outcome, but they aren't willing to change. They resist the transformation, even though it's the only way forward. And so the truth about these hard truths, I'm not telling you this to discourage you. It's the opposite. I want to see you succeed. Most of the time, these articles or videos, they always have these, avoid these mistakes, but they don't tell you about the realities that are unavoidable. And that's the difference with this. I'm not telling you to try and avoid anything that I've mentioned, because there is no avoiding it. Instead, when you do hit any of these harsh realities, harsh truths, I hope you can remember this video, because then you'll know that it's just another part of the process. Entrepreneurship isn't for everyone, and it's not meant to be. It's not about avoiding the struggle. It's about deciding whether or not it's worth it to you. The path isn't easy, but for those who are willing to walk it, it's worth it. So when you hit those hard moments, when you feel isolated, or when the roller coaster feels like it's unbearable, when you fall, remember this. It's all part of the journey. So keep going. If any of this you found value in, and you like the content, please hit subscribe. Make sure to drop a comment below if you have any questions, or if you also want to talk about your journey as an entrepreneur. I'll be sure to answer. Until the next video, as always, growth over fear.